Hey, how you doing, huh? It's great. I'm so happy to be here, huh?
Wow, are you profiling me? Is this a stereotypical thing?
Is this not Coffee Talk?
It-
Are we supposed to?
This is Coffee Talk.
Yeah, what's going on? Hey,
right.
how you doing, huh?
Coffee Talk. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee Talk. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I am so excited about today's guest because he's a real one. I brought in my friend, fellow comedian, Greg Baldwin.
Hey, how you doing, huh? It's great. I'm so happy to be here, huh?
Wow, are you profiling me? Is this a stereotypical thing?
Is this not Coffee Talk?
It-
Are we supposed to?
This is Coffee Talk.
Yeah, what's going on? Hey,
All right.
how you doing, huh?
Greg is from San Francisco.
Hey, you're busting my balls, huh?
I'm not. How did a Bay boy give such a good New York impression?
This is how I talk. Huh?
No, seriously.
This is how I talk.
They're making fun of me in LA.
What? I don't talk like a normal person here.
No,
What's going on? No,
I've heard you. You are California,
I'm a Californian,
as they
all
call
right.
it. Yeah.
I'm a Californian.
Wait, well, where did you learn to speak New York?
I did a play when I was a theater actor for a long time, and I did a play, and I had to learn a New York accent. And I was in 13 out of 17 scenes, and it was I was like a snitch, New York snitch. So I took
A rat.
A rat, yeah, a rat. That's how you say it. And so I took dialect lessons, and I learned to talk like a New Yorker. You have to talk, your tongue goes a little bit farther back in your throat. So you talk a little farther back in your throat, and then I had to learn how to talk like a New Yorker. It's been a long time, so I don't know if I got it that good.
Oh
but
my God, I was going to say, what is the process to learn how to speak this way? Because
Yeah.
for some people, my voice, and I get it, is nails on a chalkboard.
No.
And for others, they're like enamored with the like New York theme or New York everything, so it's appealing, but
Yeah, so he taught me like tongue placement. So like if I'm a Californian, I'm like talking like with my tongue's more out. And then if you talk like a New Yorker, you put your tongue a little bit farther back in your throat, like that. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Is that right?
I heard the pitch change.
Yeah, you talk like a little bit like this, a little farther back in your throat.
Oh my God! And you were a rat. Did you get clipped at the end?
I didn't get clipped, but it was it was called The Dog Problem by David Rabe, I think. And it was so fun. And to do theater's like wild. It's like one step under the rush that you get from doing stand-up. Stand-up is like the laughs and the immediateness, but it's a little bit different because theater's like it's live, the energy's in the room. It's so fun.
I honestly, I went to a reading of Moonstruck, the original screenplay, a few months ago in the city, and there was nothing like it. Like being in the moment live like that. I mean, just in plays in general. But I agree with you because like with stand up, we get that immediate validation,
Yeah.
and the same with like, doing a play, doing theater. It's like you're getting that like validation immediately,
Yeah.
which we need.
It's incredible, but it's crazy because I was in 13 out of 17 scenes, and I'm like, how am I going to remember? I like had to have the whole play almost memorized. I'm like,
There's no room for error.
Yeah, how do I, remember it? And then sometimes, like, the difference, like, you have somebody to fall back on. So if you flub something or forget something,
yeah.
you're a team, so somebody could pick you up. But I remember I was doing this scene with this girl, and you're supposed to react, just like in stand-up, right? If a waiter drops a tray of glasses, you don't just keep doing your joke, right?
Right,
You got to
right.
stop, you acknowledge it, and it's the same with theater when something happens on stage, right? So I was doing the scene with this girl, and on her outfit, her button popped off, and it was like theater in the round, and it hit the floor, and it rolled across the thing, and it was so obvious, right? I mean, it was so. I walked over, I kept doing my lines, I grabbed the thing, I walked back and I gave it to her, and I kept doing my lines, and she goes, "What's this?" And I'm like, "It's your button that popped off." And so you just never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
And one other time that I was doing a scene, a different play, and I have a phone, and it's part of the scene, right? And so the stage manager calls my phone, so it rings. And so I'm on the stage, I'm doing the scene, and I forgot the phone in the dressing room. and I'm like doing the scene. I'm in a panic.
And now you're like aware that you don't have this on you while you're doing your like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I'm in a panic,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm doing the scene. And then all of a sudden he calls the phone and you could hear it in the dressing room. And I'm like, hold on, I got to go get that. And I just walked back. I got the phone and I started talking off stage in my dialogue and came right back on. And it was incredible.
Yeah,
you know?
like that's just, and that's what you kind of need in comedy. It's like, you don't know what's going to happen in that room and you are on that stage alone. And really your only other participant is the audience. And there's a reason why Colin Quinn had a show called Tough Crowd, because sometimes you don't know what you're working with.
Yeah.
So I always said doing stand-up comedy made me feel almost insane.
Yeah. I like when I go in with a preconceived notion of how things are going to go and I'm stuck to my jokes and I don't do as well.
Right.
If I wear it like a loose garment and I can navigate a little bit and have a little fun and stuff, I always do a lot better that way.
I think what always messed me up was like a specific time. Like if it had to be like an audition, like you get 3 minutes sometimes or 5 minutes. I'm like, I can't shine in this up. Because I feel like I'm forcing my jokes down someone's throat instead of just being calm and relaxed. And I think after years, I kind of got better with that. Like once I started getting, other opportunities, I'm like, you just got to, you may not get to everything. And
it's a craft.
It's
a craft. Yeah. It's an art form. And you got to learn. And like I had a show, one time I was doing a show and I followed Bill Burr, right? and he murdered and I massacred, right? And I did great. And so the next week I was following Adam Hunter, right? This guy, and he's like set up, punch, right? So I'm like, I can follow anybody, right? I follow Bill Burr. I can follow anybody. So I tanked. Because he was like, boom, 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 and I tanked. And then another time I followed Eliza Schlesinger, and she killed, and there's a thing you heard, ride the wave. Mm-hmm. So I went on, and I just rode the wave, right? And then I killed, so I did a show on Monday with, I followed Kevin Nealon, and he murdered like I've never seen him murder. It was insane.
I wish I was there.
Yeah, you're going to host.
I know.
You're going to host. And then, so I was like, just ride the wave, right? And I go up and I tried to ride the wave, and it did not work because I needed to reset the room. I couldn't follow his energy. I had to reset the room. So you just never know, right?
You just don't know. This is the difference between Los Angeles and New York. I was like, oh my God, Greg, I can't do your show with Jay Leno, Arsenio Hall, Kevin Nealon, Daryl Hammond, because I have 2 shows with Joe Coy. Like, what world?
That's nuts.
Is that a problem? This is the second time this has happened. Greg produces, they're called Legends show for a reason. You heard the 4 names I just mustered up. But there's so many others. You've had, the last lineup was insane too. I mean, all of your lineups are pretty much.
I don't even know. I stumbled into it. It's like,
we got to talk about that, yeah.
Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
So I here's what happened. I became friends with Daryl Hammond probably like 5-6 years ago, and before the pandemic. And we became friends, and we just started hanging out and stuff. When the pandemic hit, right before the pandemic hit, Daryl was like, hey, I'm going to take you on tour. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is my big break, right? So, we were at Zany's in Chicago, which is, I hear, is like one of the greatest clubs, right? We're going to do Zany's. 2 of the Zany clubs in Chicago, and right when we were supposed to go, the pandemic hit. But Daryl and I just hung out the whole time, and we became really good friends. And then after the pandemic lifted, I started touring with him. So we started touring all over the country, and we were doing San Diego, and we went to do a radio interview, and we ran into Jay Moore. And so
I love Jay.
Yeah, so Jay's a really close friend of mine. So we sat down, we started talking, we all went to breakfast, right? And they start doing SNL impressions. And I'm like, this is nuts, right? They're doing stories, SNL stories. And then both of them are like 2 of the greatest impressionists of all time. They start doing impressions back and forth. And I'm like, this is bananas, right? And then Jay says to Daryl, hey, let's do a show together. And Daryl's like, yeah, let's do it. So I put it together. We went out, I put it, the whole thing, it was called Impressions. And so we all did mini sets, and then we all took the stage together, and I moderated their impressions back and forth.
Oh my God, what a show.
Oh, it was insane. So I had a list of all their impressions, and I would set them up. I'd be like, Daryl, you worked with a lot of presidents. What was it like the first time you went to the White House? And then he would lead him into the Clinton. And then with Jay Moore, I'd be like, you worked with Academy Award winner, what's his name? But yeah, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
What was that like? And then it would lead into him. And then at the end, we had speed round. So whatever we didn't get, I'd be like, give me foghorn leghorn. And he'd be like, I say. And then we go to Kermit the Frog, and he'd be like, oh, hello. And then we do it speed round, and we would get standing ovations, right? So we started touring it into casinos and stuff. And then we did it in the lab, and then we did it at Flappers. And then I showed the booker at the Improv a picture of the Flappers. She goes, Greg, why'd you do it at the Flappers? You can do it here. And I said, well, the lab's too small. We needed a bigger room. She goes, well, just do it in the main room. And I said, okay. So I produced it. That was my first time producing. So I produced the impression show, sold out. And then Daryl and I were out to lunch. And I said, I'm going to talk to the booker at the Improv and ask her if I can do my own lab show. And Daryl says, you're not doing a lab show. I go, I'm not. He goes, no, you're a main room producer now. And I'm like, I am? And I'm like, he's like, yeah. And he goes, you're going to do an SNL show. And I'm like, okay. And so I put it together. It was called SNL Alums. And
I think I saw that before I knew you.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, I saw maybe the advertisement or something for it. I think before how long ago was that?
It's like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so I started doing SNL Alums, and then that was incredible. So I did this one show. I'm in the green room, and I'm meditating, and in walks Dana Carvey. And I'm a huge fan. I never met him. I booked him, but he comes in. We sat down for 20 minutes, right? Then Jay Moore comes in, and then David Spade comes in. Then Kevin Nealon came in. And like Dana Carvey and Nealon were doing Hans and Franz. Like on the and I'm sitting there going, this is the craziest thing in the world, right?
The green room moments like that, you and I have had them together where like people are reminiscing, legends no less, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, so I started doing the SNL show, and then the cast member, there's not enough cast members, so I had to go SNL alums and friends. No, first SNL alums and former hosts. That's how I met Leno. I reached out to Jay Leno, and then that's how I started getting, like, I got Bill Burr and Sebastian and like all these people, and then it was too hard to book with former hosts too. So then it was SNL alums and friends. And then I did one show, and it was 2 cast members and 4 friends. So I'm like, okay, no more.
Yeah.
And then I switched it to legends. And then it just took off. So I didn't even, like, this found me, you know?
Well, let's talk about how comedy found you, because it found you in the most interesting way and in a way that is so relatable to me because of my background.
So, I'm sober.
How long now?
On Valentine's Day, it'll be 19 years.
Wow, congrats.
So,
I didn't realize it was that long, yeah.
Yeah, and nothing says you're a loser like getting sober on Valentine's Day. And but that's one of my jokes. It always gets a laugh.
Yeah,
and,
it's well here.
Yeah, I didn't have a date, so I was like, might as well go to rehab. So, but anyway,
But there's a pinnacle moment. There's you've had enough at that point.
Yeah. I was at a recovery meeting, and my friend introduced me to this newcomer, which we call people that are new into recovery, right? He had 30 days off alcohol and coke, and my friend says to me, "Hey, will you give this guy a ride home?" And I said, okay. But I thought to myself, like, why don't you give him a ride home, dude? You have a car. But I said yes, because I say yes to life now. And I gave this guy a ride home. And then he had no car, and he had no money. So I'm like, I start taking him to meetings. And I'm like, do you have groceries at home? And he's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm going to take you grocery shopping. And you know where he took me?
Where?
Whole Foods.
Oh, you got a bougie starving guy.
Like, dude, you were starting Coke off a public toilet seat, and now all of a sudden you only eat organic, dude? Come on, man. But I did my part.
At least it wasn't Erewhon.
Yeah, Erewhon would have been ridiculous.
I've been like, now you're on your own. Now go use drugs.
Yeah.
Go hit the pipe.
Yeah, and Erewhon would have been ridiculous. But anyway, I took him grocery shopping, and then we became friends, and he was a comedian. He invited me to go to a show, and so I went and saw him, and like all the comedians were terrible. And I said to him after, I'm like, dude, I could tell drug stories and be as funny as half of those guys. And he's like, you want to try it? And I'm like, okay. And he put me up at this beginner show, it's bringer show, you know, and I told some drug stories.
So you just wrote some wrote some things down?
Yeah, I just had. So I speak a lot. I do a lot of public speaking in the jails and stuff. So I just told some stories that usually get laughs out of that. So it was in the belly room at the Comedy Store, and a guy named Quincy Weekly was hosting it. And I told some drug stories. I wrapped it up with a recovery message, and then Quincy goes back on the stage and he goes, holy shit. He goes, I didn't know this was an AA meeting. And everybody laughed. And that was the very first time I ever did comedy. And that was September 12th of 2013.
And what did when you got that first laugh? We started around the same time. When you get that first laugh, did you get laughs on stage?
Yeah. I did that first time, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was amazing, you know.
Was that when you like, did you go, okay, this was fun? Or were you like, okay, no, I'm going to do this?
I don't know. I just started doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and I had some good sets, but I was horrible like we all are at the beginning. And you know, I'll be honest, I kind of hated it at the beginning because the anxiety that went along with it. And
well, see, in the beginning, when I would be so nervous, I'd have a glass of wine.
See, that's
which I
nice.
don't do now because now I'm like, no, I have to be so cognizant and so sharp, and I want to do improv, and I want to be able to do crowd work. But in the beginning, I leaned on a substance.
Wine? Did it work for you?
It worked on calming me down probably, but I probably wasn't as good as I should have been because I wasn't as sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, yeah, I've been doing it ever since, and now it's like, you know, 12 years later, I work with some of the greatest. It's nuts, right? Like all the people you're doing, Joe Coy, and I'm working with all these legends, Daryl, you know, and Jay Leno, and all these guys.
It's crazy what can happen when you stick with it.
It's like the Matrix.
But you stuck with your sobriety as well. So you were sober for like 6 years at that time when you started?
I was sober in 2013. Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah.
And it was, but like at the beginning, I would have so much. I bombed sometimes. I bombed in front of my parents really bad, and I had so much anxiety.
So did I. Yeah.
That and people would ask me, "Do you love stand up?" And I would think, no, I hate it. It's horrible.
But you kept doing it. Yeah. I did too.
Yeah.
You know, I was cleaning out my laptop. Lord knows I can't even check my email sometimes from my phone. So I'm so not tech savvy. But I found a video of like a bomb the next morning where I'm like, I'm never doing comedy again. Yeah. And I'm like, you know, like being videoed by Mike. And I'm like, I quit, you know, and it's like, but I didn't. And so I think there's times I've been in this, you know, studio crying to Keita, like, I'm not the kid. I just don't know what to do anymore. It's, you know, it's too hard. I can't. But like, and that's even too hard to perform. It's too hard to make it full time in the business sometimes. Yeah. And I think it's like so crazy. You go through all of this to get good. Yeah. And then you have to go through so much to like make it, you know, fruitful.
Yeah, it's hard to make a living.
Like, it's just hard to make a living, and making other people happy is really your job. Yeah. So there's so much honor in sticking with it and getting good at it is what people don't realize, which is why I give so much grace to certain comics when I see them, and why comedians are my favorite people. We're sick in the head, but there are some comedians they're just I don't know. It's just a world I understand and feel like I belong in. But as far as addiction, I joke often about my dad because my dad's sober same amount of time as you. He's sober 19 years. He'll be 20. I think it's 20 this July 4th. But I don't talk about anybody else. I come from a whole family of addicts. But I make fun of him because he's sober and there's acceptance in his journey, and he loves it, and he's, you know, he loves to be the butt of the joke. Like, he's like so happy that I joke about it. But can you tell us, like, it's to make that decision to do it? So it was 19 years ago.
Yeah, I got arrested, and I went to jail for possession of a controlled substance. They caught me with meth. And I went to jail, and I didn't like it. And then I had a...
Now, where were you living at the time?
I was in the Bay Area.
Okay. Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Okay.
San Francisco Bay Area. And so they gave me the option of rehab or jail, and I chose rehab because I didn't want to go to jail. And my first thought was I'll just go to jail because I didn't want to quit doing meth. How
long were you using?
I started doing drugs when I was in 6th grade. And
do you have siblings?
I do.
Are they?
I have an older brother and a younger sister, and I had another older brother. He passed away. And
was it from drug related?
He had juvenile diabetes.
Oh.
And so he passed away from diabetes. But I just started young.
Anybody else in your family?
No,
Addict?
just me. My grandfather was an
Alcoholic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped on his own without a program. So he had some behavioral problems and mental health issues. But I'm the only one. I just, if things make
Sixth grade's pretty young. I mean, I feel like there was things that we tried, like we tried alcohol, we tried cigarettes, and like I think middle school, high school was like for complete rebel years, but sixth grade seems young. Sixth grade's
that's young.
Yeah.
You look at a sixth grader.
Yeah.
I was arrested for dealing pot in the 8th grade. Got arrested, handcuffed, taken to jail.
What were your
8th
parents
grade.
Thinking?
I don't know how they put up with it. It's crazy. They were. My mom always says, "Oh, you're such a good kid." I'm like, "Really? Was I?" Because I was always getting in trouble. I threw a party at our house when they were home downstairs, and they're like, "What are you doing? Like, you're throwing a party like with alcohol and stuff downstairs?" Like,
how old were you?
I was in high school.
Yeah. What's the age range? Like you have you said an older sister?
I have an older brother, a younger sister,
okay.
So
middle child syndrome.
Middle child syndrome. But I just things make me feel good, I want more of it. Mm-hmm. So
you have an addictive personality,
exactly,
which is why you probably stayed in comedy.
Yeah,
because you got one hit that was good, and you were like, "I'll just wait till I get the next good hit."
Yeah,
comedy's an addiction.
It's insane. Like it's like jumping out of an airplane and not knowing if your chute's going to open. It's nuts. Now that has dissipated a little bit because we have jokes now that we know are going to probably work. We can battle our way out of a tough crowd sometimes, So we're professionals.
But that
now.
comes with experience.
That comes with experience.
Yeah.
But I've bombed so many times.
Yeah.
It's fun. I love it. When did you started? When did you start?
I started the same year as you.
Really?
2013.
Really?
Yeah. I had done a little bit of it in my 20s, nothing that I account for. Mm-hmm. And then my first time on stage, ever doing my first 5 minutes was for opening a play I had at the Producers Club. It was like a sketch comedy play in New York City. And unbeknownst to me, there was like a Yankee executive that saw me perform.
Really?
And they were at the time looking for a host for Yankee Stadium.
What?
And they came back to see me repeatedly. I never knew. I was just doing the run of the show, which was like a month in the month of June in the city. And at the end of the run, I got approached and said, "We'd like you to apply for this position to be the New York Yankees scoreboard host and reporter."
No way.
And I was
That's so cool.
And I was like, "You're not going to get it. You don't have a communications degree." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm just going to apply." They told me to apply. And I applied and didn't hear anything. I applied in August, didn't hear anything till November. They brought me in, did an interview. The next month, they called me in for a screen test. So I got to go to Yankee Stadium as they were building the new stadium. There was nothing down at the stadium except for this huge, big screen that was like the biggest in professional sports aside from, I believe, the Dallas Cowboys. And they just tested me, and and I just saw myself in the middle of the South Bronx. Now, from a girl from the Bronx to even see that, I was like, "This is insane."
So cool.
And then they hired me in January, and I was like, "What? I just did 5 minutes of stand-up in a sketch play." And so it kind of derailed me, I should say, because I chose to take the job instead of pursuing stand-up. And at the time, I had a day job, and then I was doing their job, and their job was supposed to be part-time, but it was every home game, which was 80 home games. It was postseason games. It was spring training. It was, the road when I could. So it became like a 3/4 job, and then plus my other full-time job. And there was no room for comedy. And I don't think that although I loved that rush I got, it wasn't practical to me to do comedy, I think, at the time when I thought about it, because I was living on my own. I had to depend on me, and I was just like, I can't, I have this great opportunity that's the New York Yankees. And so I just talked myself out of stand-up until like the 3rd or 4th year at the Yankees. And I was just like, I really want to do stand-up. I couldn't. I think the show.
So did you quit the Yankees?
I did.
What? That's crazy.
I know. That's what they said. And then,
I bet everybody in their right mind told you were nuts.
They said I was crazy. But I just felt like I had to do it, and I had watched the show Last Comic Standing?
Yeah.
I had watched the show Last Comic Standing and the first year and I loved it. Oh my God, I was watching it and I couldn't wait for the next season until the next season came out and I was like uncomfortable watching it. I'm like, that's not my personality is if somebody's doing something they love or I like champion anybody, any artist, any friends. Like if you're doing your thing, I'm like here for it.
Yeah, you're unbelievable.
And then I was like, oh no, wait a minute. I don't like who I am getting up. Like why can't I watch this? And I was like, let me just get up on stage and do it once more and see. And I did. And like you, I was like, okay, I got a few laughs. And I was like, oh, this is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Fast forward 5 years of quitting my job to do it. My second job, I should say. And then I got lucky with veteran comics like Jackie Martling and Nick DiPaolo and these guys that were seeing me and going, okay, you got something. I'll let you open for me. Fast forward a few more years after that, Miss Pat got turned on to me. And then she was like, brought me on the road with her. Like you, 2019, she called me and said, I got this thing called Netflix as a joke. Or Netflix comedy. Was it Netflix? It might have been the first. When was the first Netflix comedy festival?
I don't know. I did the last one.
I think it was a few years.
I did the last one.
Miss Pat was like, you're going to do this festival with me. She goes, I can't get you on it with me, but what you're going to do is, she goes, come stay with me. I got a house. I rent a place, and I'm going to introduce. Oh, it was like something with Kevin Hart. She's like, I'm going to introduce you to everybody.
Wow.
And you just tell everybody that you open for me and shake hands. And I was like, this is it. This was like the January of 2020 or something. Like I was like, this is going to be my year. Right?
Yeah.
Then she called me and goes, I need a tape. I'm recommending you to Just for Laughs. And I'm like, this is literally my year. 2020 is going to be my year. And I'm getting married in June. Like all of my dreams are going to come true. And then I sat on my couch, ate chicken parm at midnight, finally watched Homeland and like cried every day because there was nothing going on.
So hard.
And, but listen, it was, aside from all the loss, it did change the course of my life. And now when I look back, I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And I'm getting the opportunities I'm ready for now. Yeah. But it is one of those things that you can't rationalize in the moment. You're just like, why is this happening? Yeah. How is this happening? What is happening? And we all went through that to a certain degree. And then I started losing people close to me. And I was just, we all lived it. We don't got to rehash it. But so yeah, that's how I actually started. And then I was like, all right, well.
As we scale up and we do more exciting, bigger things, the wins are very high and the lows are very, very low. And it's so like true. What I'm trying to do now is find that middle balance and not get, but when you do a show like, you open for Joe Coy and you kill and like everybody's like, oh my God, you were so amazing. Or you headline you're a national touring headliner, you headline your own shows, and then you have the best set ever, and like you come up with a new joke on stage, and then you're just like you go home, you're just like, that is the greatest. That was like, it's like literally jumping out of an airplane. No, I've never done that, but I'm just saying it's just the biggest rush ever. And then the next day, I got nothing. I have no shows booked. I'm like, my life is over.
You're so on point right now. It's so hard. People don't get it. Like, and that's why I say perception is reality. And that's why I do Cawfee Talks and I get brutally honest and on my solos here about like what I'm going through at the time, because people see something online and they go, wow, her life's going so great. And I'm not saying that the direction of my life isn't going so great, but I could have a great set. Like I had just did those 3 shows with Joe. Every comedy club passed me or booked me or reached out to my agent to headline me. Joe was like, you're amazing. I'm giving you Radio City Music Hall. It was like, and then I had a 10-minute set that I didn't like. And I know. I could not recover from it.
No, I know.
Guys, listen to what we're saying because this is life.
So brutal.
It is, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a comic thing or like if other people don't have I mean, like you could have not given me a more perfect week and then a 9-minute set I was given, I didn't love. And it took me not only 2 shows after where I did very well. I mean, one of the shows I felt like it was just a great look for me. It wasn't until I went back to that club where I didn't like my set that I did really great, that I was like, okay, I've recovered. But a week of not feeling good because of 9 minutes
I know.
after Radio City Music Hall announcement.
It's insane. What's wrong with us?
I don't know.
And
you're like me a lot because Greg and I will text a lot about we care so much in a good way, which helps.
Yeah.
But like we're too concerned.
Yeah.
With like what we put online. Does this look? I mean, you'll send me a video. I'll cut in 9 seconds of dead air. Like I'm like, sorry, I'm a psycho.
No, you're incredible.
No, I know, but it's also like, it's so hard to not overthink. And so, listen, the other day, prime example, I was like, I don't want to drink, but I'm like, I actually can't. I need something. Like, I can't come down from how upset I am. So I had a few glasses of wine. I mean, when I say a glass, this is a glass for me.
That's healthy.
But you can't do that.
I can't do that because I'll go score a bag of meth. I will. Or a bag of Coke to start or something.
I know this from AA with my dad because when my dad just finally decided to get sober and I begged him for years, I was on the call with him July 3rd or that July 4th when I begged him to get sober again, but he couldn't until he was ready, and that's just the way it goes. I learned in the program that it's your first drink will get you drunk.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to go back to the. I recorded a video. I do these little walking videos. I recorded one today, and it's like, it's this one was like that. I compare myself to other people's success online. You know,
oh, that's a common thread. Everybody listening here has done that.
And you know, and then I feel horrible, like I'm failing and stuff. But the other thing is that I did a show I followed Kevin Nealon the other night, and he just absolutely murdered. And then I followed him, and I didn't murder. And so the next day, I was like, I am terrible. I am literally horrible because I couldn't do as good of it, you know. And then my friend was there, and he's like, dude, you were 8 out of 10. You're like consistent. You got laughs all the way through. And then after, people like wanted pictures with me and were like, you were a great set or whatever, but I didn't kill. So I'm like, I am horrible. What am I doing? I need to quit. This is an illness. It's an illness. It's but we got to find that happy medium and be okay with failure. And it's
how?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we do. Tell me.
I don't know how. So I swear to God, I did a video about this today. So exercise. Yesterday, you know what I did?
Exercise does help. If I have anxiety, I go for a walk. I do feel better. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I did yesterday? I went and I went to the what's the Star place up on the hill? The planetarium.
Okay.
At what's that place?
Griffith
Observatory.
Okay.
And I went and saw Signs of Life, and it was about the universe. And so you tell me that I like my little set behind Kevin Nealon matters when that was really good. Exercise, make sure my dishes are clean, which they always are. Make my bed, clean my house.
I do that too. And make my environment is that I can't function in chaos. Like my best.
I'm clean too. I didn't used to
my mental state has to be.
Yeah.
I think it's a child's
meditation,
which I can't get into.
Why?
I don't know.
I have an answer for you.
Okay.
So have you tried to do it?
So somebody told me about this method.
Focus on your breath?
No.
What is it?
I have to.
Transcendental meditation?
Yeah.
Okay. I do that. That's what I do. TM.
Okay. So here's my thing. It's like alone with, you're not supposed to be thinking though. Like
no. See, okay. So this is good.
No. I'm like alone with my thoughts.
No, this is good.
Okay.
So,
all right. I'm so excited. Teach.
No, this is good. I'm going to help you with your meditation.
Okay.
The purpose of meditation, this is what I was taught with transcendental meditation. The purpose is not to go silent. That's not the purpose. There is no goal. Your goal is to sit, and if you have thoughts, those are supposed to be there. Here's how I learned meditation. Somebody told me to concentrate on my breath, right? So I'd go sit down, and I'd concentrate on my breath, and I'd be like... And I'm like, wait a minute, I have to do this every second for the rest of my life? Like, how can I remember to breathe every second? Like, this is impossible. I'm like going to stop breathing. I'm like, and then I panic.
I'm gonna have an anxiety attack as he does
that's what
this.
I did. I start panicking. I'm like, how do I remember to breathe, right? And then I lay down, I take a nap, and I wake up, and I'm like, oh my God, meditation is brutal. Like, this is horrible, right? So I learned this form. It's called transcendental meditation. You get this, it's called a mantra, and it's just like a meaningless phrase to, but anyway, I was doing it, and I kept thinking, and like, I'm like, oh my God, I bombed after this. I got this to do. I'm not going to fail. I'm going to fail. My brain's going crazy, right? So I went to my teacher and I said, I think I'm doing it wrong. And she goes, why? And she goes, I go, because I can't stop thinking. And she goes, Greg, she goes, no. That could be a perfect meditation. It's just whatever it is, because if you can't stop thinking, your body and your brain is getting rid of a lot of anxiety. So the goal of meditation isn't to go silent. Sometimes that's the outcome of it. The goal is to be wherever you're at in the moment. And if you're thinking a lot, that's okay. And then I heard a correlate. It's an analogy. It's like the ocean, right? At the top of the ocean, there's waves crashing. It's rough seas, and it's that's your thought life. I got this to do. Crazy. It's all it's crazy. And then at the bottom of the ocean is perfect stillness, and it's quiet and peace and serenity, and like all. Be at the top of the ocean. It's crazy. I got to do this. And then all of a sudden I'm like quiet and I'm peaceful. And I'm like, oh, I feel real great. I have serenity. And then all of a sudden I'm back up. Oh my God, I got to do this. And then it's craziness. And then you go in and out, in and out. And whatever it is, sometimes I'm at the top of the ocean the whole time. Sometimes I'm up at the bottom of the ocean. And either one of those places are perfect.
That seems like there's less pressure on me when you explain it like that. And that's my problem. I don't do well in with set short times, like auditions, things like that. Like I just can't, the pressure I put on myself, I can't function in high pressure situations like that. That's why
I have another good technique for you.
Let's hear it.
Go onto YouTube, and when you're having anxiety, Google 10-minute anxiety meditation, and then just listen to it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Just turn it on and listen to the 10-minute meditation. That's it.
And the utility of the mantra is when you find yourself in thought, that's what you go back to the mantra, and then you sit with the mantra until you forget the mantra. Yeah. And then you'll be in a state of non-thought, and then the thoughts start bubbling in, and then the awareness of the thought bubbles in, and then you go back to the mantra. That's what the mantra is for. That's why TM is such a great.
What's the mantra?
Well, the guru gives you the mantra.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's a non-meaning sound. It's like just a phonetic.
Yeah, it has no meaning to it. So
it's not a word. It's just like a
or nothing
sound.
like that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to keep it secret. I think why you keep it secret is because they want you to go to the class and to get it, and you go get a teacher. You're supposed to keep your mantra secret, so I'm not allowed to tell anybody.
Yeah.
But it's just a meaningless phrase that helps you get to that bottom of the ocean, and then like Keita said, it's you get to the bottom of the ocean, it's quiet. Your thoughts, you're like, oh my God, and then you're like, oh wait, I'm meditating. So you think the mantra again. It's just
the mantra focuses the mind, and then the idea is to let go of the mantra, and then when that happens, you get that peaceful kind of non-thought state. Sometimes it lasts for 10 minutes. Sometimes it lasts for a second, and you start thinking again. But like Greg said, there's no. If you think nothing, if you have racing thoughts for 20 minutes, or if you have no thoughts for 20 minutes, it's equally fine, according to the guru.
What I love about meditation is I think it's such a progressive thought or this and that, but I speak to all different walks of life, and people go, do you meditate? And I'm like, no, but you do. It's such a powerful tool.
Yeah, a lot of people
and
do
I
it.
have not, and I know the famous comedians have come out talking about it, Seinfeld's and other people.
They do TM. That's why I started.
Yeah.
That's why I started.
Seinfeld?
I saw Seinfeld and Oprah and all these people did TM. Ellen DeGeneres and all these comedians I saw do it. I'm like, oh, so I used it as a way to try to be more creative. What I didn't realize it was going to do, I didn't know it was going to dissipate my depression.
Yeah. Does it help with creativity?
Yeah, it does. I think I'm more clear. I'm more focused. I'm more. It really does. I think I'm more conscious and aware and present when I'm consistently meditating. I've
always battled with anxiety, like panic attacks and Like, I'll never forget. I was like 18 and I was in high school and my heart was coming out of my chest. And I just ran into the hallway and was on the stairs in the hallway. And I'm like, and like a nun, because I had went my last year of high school. I dropped out of Bronx High School of Science. I was always a little bit of a mental case. And then I went to my last year in this Catholic high school and a nun came over to me and she said, "You're having a panic attack." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "You're having a panic attack." And I would feel them coming on and I would be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to handle it. And then I went to therapy and I tried all other things, but like it's been a constant battle.
Yeah.
It's been a battle with hormones as they change. And so, so it's definitely something I need to find other avenues because like, listen, the wine is a crutch because I come from a family of addicts. I am so mindful of what
but you don't have it.
Right, of what I
You don't
take
have it.
in.
You
and
can
what
have
I
a glass of
But
wine.
I get like, oh my God, or like if it's been like a week and I've like been out and I've been drinking. I had a drink the other night at the ice house and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get depends on this. Like I get immediately like nervous that I'm gonna like, because it can happen. I do have an addictive person. I'm a work addict.
Yeah.
But
you would know by now if you're probably most likely you would know if you're alcoholic because
you don't stop.
There's periods of control, but there's moments of total,
right.
So and it's progressive.
As she pours the vodka she stowed away.
Yeah,
in that
right.
can.
My energy and immunity drink. I'm in LA.
Yeah.
All right, coffee talkers, you're not going to be happy with this. There's no fucking coffee in this. Oops, I'll have to take that out.
White wine. God,
It's a white wine drink. It's an energy and immunity drink that I got at Erewhon.
You know something else that came to mind.
Sponsor
Tara,
moment.
Yeah.
Is I heard this a long time ago, but someone wise told me one time that in regards to like a performance in a job or whatever, it's like my thoughts and feelings are not my business. And I love that phrase because my emotions are wildly all over the place. And if I chase those, it's like a dog chasing its tail. Like I have to, in another phrase is like, you have to have short-term memory, or you know what I mean? It's like, I have to let, I'll just speak in terms of me. It's like, no matter how I feel about any situation, I have to literally just like, let it go and just forget that I have the feeling I have. Because it's
hard. It's easier said than done. That's so
hard.
easier said than done. I'm telling you, I had a 9-minute set take me out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm being very honest.
No. I believe you. Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, this is great." Like people are posting, "Oh my God, it's amazing. Look at the shows you're on." And I'm like, "This is all fake."
Yeah,
Here's the thing. I didn't have a bad set. It wasn't your set the other night after Kevin wasn't bad.
No.
It wasn't the what we wanted or what
look, even if it is bad,
right? And even if it is,
who the fuck cares?
Right?
You know what I mean?
But
like you just have to like.
Yeah, but I get it. But I think
I mean, I've gotten pretty good at it. To be honest with you, I used to be insanely critical, and now I've just gotten to the place in my life where I'm like, I'm just not holding on to shit. I literally am not. It's a conscious decision.
I'll say this: it is a goal more than it's ever been for me this year.
Yeah.
And it's because, and Keita knows, I had a terrible December. Just one of the really down. My listeners know, and I'm like, whatever this is, I can never get back to this state again. And like, there's got to be other things. I mean, I've made changes to remove, certain things that make me very upset. But I still my recovery time, a 9-minute set or a 15-minute set should not bring us to next day doom.
You know what?
You went to doom. You went to I shouldn't do this anymore.
I go to I don't want to be alive anymore.
No.
I'm not suicidal, but I go to
I'm not suicidal either.
This is not fun. I hate this. I hate this life. I hate this world. That's where I go. And
No,
I'm like,
I get
I'm not
it.
gonna, like I said, I'm not suicidal. I'm never going to do it. But because I always know the one thing I've always maintained is I know it's temporary. But that's where my head goes. Like, this is torture. This is like pain. This is I'm being punished by being on this earth.
I tell myself that it's temporary. I have to remind myself of that, and that's been a good tool for me.
Yeah.
But the being like, what is this life?
Yeah.
What am I doing? And I think I question it after a bad set, or I question it even when I see a baby online. And I go, I've chosen not to do this. Even if it's not something I really ever wanted.
Yeah.
I still go, well, maybe I could, or maybe I still can, or maybe I could do this, or maybe and it's like, when I go, well, if I was at a point if I was successful enough, would I care about these things? You're always going to care. Like, there's going to be, being successful, and I don't even mean money. It just like being where I feel in my mind I should be, industry-wise, is not going to make me not do this.
You know what's crazy? We are successful.
I know.
You know what's crazy? You're touring with Joe Coy. I'm working with the biggest.
We were texting the other night. You texted me the other night. You're like, can you believe this is like, we text and go, this is insane. This is insane what we're doing tonight.
But I think I'm failing.
No.
See, my perception is that I'm totally I'm failing. Like I'm not failing.
Go back to 13 years ago when you started, or go back to 20 before you were sober. Can 20-year-old Greg picture you where you are
insane.
Before the spot on Monday?
I know.
Could 20-year-old...
It's crazy.
But
one 9-minute set, and I'm back to I'm totally failing. I hate this life.
I do it.
So like and I think there's different things that we can do to try to dissipate that a little bit. I don't have that ability to just turn it off like that he does.
Yeah.
So, and it takes, but I used to go through, like when I first got sober, I would go through like a month long of that depression. And then I started meditating, and then I started doing service work. I speak in jails and stuff like that. And I've been able to now get it down to a few days. Sometimes it'll be longer, a week or two, but I've been able to shrink it down to a shorter period of time where I'm in that bad area. And I think, listen, there's a lot of different there's a lot of ways to get to it. You can take a plane, a bus, a car, a bicycle, you can jog, and you can end up at the same location, right? So how do we end up at that healthy location, And for other people, it's music, it's exercise. Someone said running today because and I'm like, I'm not running anywhere, but there's different ways.
Music is cathartic to me. Walking, driving and listening to
glass of wine, like you said, is fine.
There is something to be said about being in your car by yourself, listening to the radio, and like, just it's therapy. For me, there are just certain where it's like I could, like the other night, Joe was like, I'll fly you to Arizona, do these shows with me. And I opted to drive because I was up early. And I was like, I'm going to get my time in the car to like get my head straight for these shows. And I drove. I know.
That's nuts.
I know. But I
would have flown. He's probably going to fly you first class too.
I just knew in my head.
Yeah.
I was like, and he's like, where are you? I was like, I'm showing up. It was a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of anxiety. And here's the thing. The first time I opened for him, there was no anxiety because I was like, oh, I have no time. I got called last minute.
Yeah. Oh, so you didn't have time to think about it? This is what I've come to. I can't get rid of that anxiety. I can't. But I can make it shorter.
Right.
And I can do things. And I think it's about self-care and taking care of yourself and trying to eat healthy. You know what I did last night? I ate like mounds of sugar, so that's
the worst for me.
I know. And I eat unhealthy, and but so today I went and I walked the zoo and I did a video. And
you do the zoo a lot.
I do it all the time, like 3 times a week. I get there before anybody else gets there, so I can walk by myself, and then I record these little walking videos. But I have relationships with all these animals, and they, so yeah, I just love it. But that's healthy for me.
But you found your things. Like, I know for me, the walking is one, the getting outside, the grounding myself. Having your friends you can talk to and say, hey, this is going to sound crazy, but I can't get over a 9-minute set or whatever it is that's bothering me. I'm giving you whatever the people listening, whatever your thing is, you have to find your resources.
Yeah. And stand-up is a high wire act. I mean, it's really, it's brutal. Mm-hmm. It's the greatest thing in the world, but it's also very brutal because you're constantly putting yourself out there.
To be rejected.
To be rejected, to be judged.
Yep.
And like 1 minute you can do the same exact set and have the set of your life, and it's like everybody's telling you how great you are. You're like, oh my God, and then you could do the same set different crowd, and totally not do well. And then so, and it's funny because you look at like the GOATs, Dave Chappelle, I don't know, a few years ago, he bombed so bad people wanted a refund. And then I was talking to my friend Dustin Ibarra, who's like a murderer. He kills like every single time. And he struggles. He's like, man, I'm just not good at this. And it's like, so it's just so hard, you know? It is so, I have so much respect for people that have gone through like the first 5 years of stand-up, because it's all pain at the beginning. It's almost all pain and suffering at the beginning, with moments of like, this is great.
What I'll say with the beginning for me is there was no skin in the game. So it was a little less pressure for me. Like I was like, this is easy. Or if it wasn't, I would go, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, but I would still do it. Once my name was on a flyer, and not like in a group, once people had to leave their houses and pay money to see me, the amount of pressure, because I'm like, these people deserve this. I owe them this. They're coming, you know, like it was all of a sudden not even fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't allow that. I can't. The whole point was to get to this point.
Yeah. But now you're good at it. And you bring happiness and joy. And here's another thing. It's not what we get from the shows. It's what we give to the audience. Our job is not to kill so we feel great. Right. That's not our job. Well, our job is to bring happy and joy and laughter to people in the audience who are going through deaths of loved ones and cancer and work problems. And our job is to help them escape and bring happiness and joy. And I know I did well, like after the show, if I recognize people from the audience, because I'm connected. If I get off and I can't recognize a single person after the show,
right? You're like, I was just running through it.
I was just going through the motions. It was all about me, you know?
Well, which is something I've said before. Like the minute I realized it wasn't about me and it was about the audience.
Yeah, you started doing better.
It was a different game, and I started doing better.
Yeah, me too.
But then I felt a different amount of pressure once the tickets were in my name. Because like if you found me funny on a show by accident, that was great.
Yeah.
You know, but if you didn't find me funny because you bought tickets to see me, I would have, you know, which I have to say, to my credit, whether I'm killing every time or not, I think I'm putting myself out there enough, and the authenticity and the sincerity of how good I want to be to people comes through enough that I would say 90 to 95% of my audience stays for meet and greet. Which is what makes me go, okay.
Yeah.
You know, they know that I'm really in it for them.
Yeah.
So
I also think this is, you know, doing stand-up and, you know, it's also, there's a lesson in real life about it, because I think life is not about, you know, all the materialism and what I can get from it. I really think about life is trying to figure out how I could be of service to others.
Absolutely.
And what can using my gifts and my struggles and things that have happened in my life to help other people that come behind me, you know? And you're really good at that, because the first time I met you, was it the Ice House? You were like, you and I just bonded. You started talking, and then you're like, oh, I can help you with this. I can help. You didn't even, I'm like, I didn't even think you know that I booked a show.
I didn't know anything about you.
You were just like, I can help you, and you can do this. And you're like so giving. And I'm like, oh my God, you're like amazing. You know, so you have that gift. And you know who else has that gift? That I've noticed is, and it's nice to see when really successful, famous people have it, or use their gift to better serve, to be a service to others. Arsenio Hall.
Oh, what a gem!
He has this really magical ability to make people feel so special and so great and so unique, and he uses it. And you know, and you have that gift, and you use it, and I have that gift, and I try to use it. And
well, if you see Greg live, you'll see it, because he does. It's in his act, his service, which is really something beautiful to watch. But I got that experience with Arsenio through you, because you put me on a show at Arsenio.
Yeah, that's right.
And I had two shows with him. The first one, he was so sweet. The photographer came in to take pictures, and he's made sure I was included in everything. Very inclusive.
Very inclusive.
Included me in conversation. But the second time I had to bring him on stage, I got everybody revved. I was like, you know, because that's what I want everybody to get hyped, because Greg's bringing legends on the stage, and I have to introduce them. So I want them to feel the intensity. And while the audience is going crazy for him, he pauses them and makes them stop and give me credit, and then bows down to me on stage. And I'm like, what? Who, like blows your mind with the
Yeah.
humbleness to be like, please recognize.
Yeah.
Or it was just one of those moments where you go, wow, like, not that I ever think I would not remember others, but it
Yeah.
was like, what a way to be like, share the attention in that moment. It was like
He's incredible.
just a genuinely kind human and funny. Like he then killed,
Yeah,
and it was refreshing.
We had I was upstairs with, it was me, him, and Jimmy Walker, who played JJ.
I remember
JJ
that was like a few weeks ago, right? That's right, 2
It was
months ago.
like a month ago or a couple months ago, and there was a photographer taking pictures, and then he saw the photographer come up, so he went and he put his arm on my shoulder, and brought me in, and then Leno did this too for me. So like I'd be back in the green room and I would just sneak out. I wouldn't like feel comfortable being in the green room conversation because I wasn't an equal to those guys. And Leno,
Meanwhile, it's your show that you're booking.
yeah, but Leno would be like, so like one time I remember, so Howie Mandel was like, super nice, but not like the Arsenio inclusive and bring me in, so he was more a little but so Leno would be talking to me. He'd be telling a story, but he would spend equal time telling it to me and to Howie, and he would bring me as an equal.
Jay Leno does that.
Jay Leno did that, and he made me an equal in the conversation. And so then I started getting the respect of Howie, and then Arsenio did that as well. It was me, Arsenio, and Leno, and then I drifted off and started thinking, and he elbowed me, and he goes, "Right, Greg?" And he brought me back in, and so I, of course I want to be successful and have money and sell out shows and all that. The personal stuff would be great, but I really, and I say this in my meditations and stuff, or I say it out loud, is like, I want to be more successful so I can make a difference on a bigger scale.
Absolutely.
I want to make a difference on it, but if it's my calling to stay at this level and just do it on a small scale, or one person at a time, then that's my path. That's okay too. I'll accept it and be okay with it. But
and you're still speaking in the prisons and things.
I do.
Like that?
Yeah, not as much. I've been in there like over 300 times.
Wow.
But now I do it like once a month, once every other month or something like that. But I would like to make a difference, like Jeff Bezos, or not him, like he doesn't make the. I would like to be able to like open centers and do, that's my goal.
Right.
That would be
my I always say I want to get famous enough to make PMDD a thing, which is like a menstrual, hormonal disorder that women suffer through. That sadly some women like get misdiagnosed, and some women kill themselves because it's just so hard to battle. But listen, and I love all the other things that come with it too personally, but I do what you do on stage now at your level. And I said this to you, it's like, I've watched you say like how bringing that guy.
Oh yeah. The story. Yeah.
This changed your
Changed
life.
my life,
It was you doing an act of service.
Yeah.
You were never thought of stand-up comedy before that?
So no,
that's what I find interesting about your story, because everybody usually goes, "Oh, I wanted to do it," or
it never crossed my mind. I used to go by myself.
What did you do before?
I was I worked in radio. I sold advertising in radio, and then I was then I worked in an ad agency, and then I ran admissions for a group of treatment centers. But I was a copywriter, wrote commercials, I set up campaigns, so that was like my thing. But I was also a theater actor, and I was in the Actors Theater in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And,
I thought that was for some reason.
But I've always wanted, that was always was acting. That's
okay.
Yeah.
So there was the arts, though.
There was the arts,
yeah. Okay. So it's not like right.
No, but I used to, when I first got sober, I would go by myself to the Comedy Store, sit in the back, and just watch comedians. It never crossed my mind to do stand-up. Never even occurred, because I never thought I was creative or smart enough to write jokes or anything. And then, so I didn't find stand-up. Stand-up found me. And now it's the greatest thing in the world. I love it so much. Also, it's very difficult, and it's struggles or whatever. But I gotta throw that in there. But
it still is great. It still is great.
It is great. It's great. Like now it's consistently great.
Right.
But again, we have to deal with the failures and stuff like that. But
as is going to be anything. Like there's going to be bad days at work, and I think we just don't look at it like that.
Yeah.
You're allowed
sensitive.
to have a bad day at work.
I'm so sensitive.
I know,
you know,
but
and like super sensitive to, and I don't have good self-evaluation, which is probably good at the beginning because if I knew how terrible I was, I would have quit. You know,
which is right. That's why I said in the beginning it was just so much easier because
Yeah.
it felt
I didn't
I had
know.
no skin. I didn't know enough.
Yeah, I didn't know. If I knew what people were thinking about me on stage,
Oh yeah,
I would have quit.
right.
You know, and but now it's you know, consistently, you and I can both do pretty good work.
Yeah.
Consistently,
Right.
I think,
and that's a good feeling
and it's a good feeling
until it's not.
until it's not.
If there's anything you can tell a listener, because I have listeners, you totally turned your life around 19 years ago. What you can say, you didn't have a choice. But if there's any advice you can give to anybody struggling right now.
Ask for help. That's my advice. Ask for help. And I think that if you, because I remember I'm not a religious person, I'm a spiritual person, but I remember like my prayers, whatever, we used to be, you know, God, if you get me out of this one, I swear to God, I'll never do it again. And at the end, it was to the universe or whatever's out there, help. I don't know what to do, and help came.
Mm-hmm.
You know, help came, and so. You know, I pray, I meditate, I do, you know, I try. I don't know what happens after, but I know something does. But I know that I received the help I needed because I was open to it. This is my personal opinion. I believe some of us die from addiction, and a lot of us die from addiction, and they don't make it. And I was able to survive it. And I got down to 118 pounds, missing teeth, living out of my car. I was dying. I would go for like 3 days without drinking water or eating food. So it's a miracle. I've done a concoction of drugs and alcohol that have killed other people, and I survived it. And so I think the reason why I survived it is because I have the capacity to be of service to other human beings. And I had the capacity to use my gifts to serve others. And I think the ones, if you don't do that, I don't think we're going to make it. And I don't know, but I'm consistently in service. And whether it's through recovery, whether it's through doing stand-up, bringing happiness and joy. Now I'm trying to find my voice where I integrate. I want to be more like
Motivational.
Yeah, but no, a comedian. My job is to make people laugh. But you notice at the end, I'm starting to integrate inspiration and like how I've been able to overcome things, or I make fun of myself, and you know,
And you do it on social media.
and I do it on social media.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where, you know, and I think I can honestly say that I'm the best version of myself I've ever been. You know, I am literally the best version. And I can tell you, since I've gotten to know you, you are the best version of yourself that you've ever been.
And we're still works in progress, and that's okay, guys. And we have to give ourselves the same grace we would give others, because we are constantly giving other people grace. And we got to be that kind to ourselves.
If you need help and you're struggling with depression, with alcoholism, drug addiction, or whatever it is, reach out to me. You know, you can find me at Real Greg Baldwin is my social media. I will answer every single one. I did a little video on depression, and like one of my friends from back home that I went to high school with reached out, and I took him to a meeting. And then somebody that I know in recovery in LA called me. We had like a half-hour conversation. He was like borderline, I don't know if he was suicidal, but he was like having so much struggle. And then, but just ask for help. Help will find you if you ask for it.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening to this now, or you know somebody who needs some inspiration, or if you think somebody needs help, just reach out to them, check on them, or if you yourself need help, reach out. But this is why I wanted Greg in. And listen, if you need a good laugh or motivation, his videos can do that for you online. If you're in the LA area visiting, please check out the Legends and Special Guests. I hosted the show last time. I'm like, this show is Legends and Special Guests, which is a really nice way of saying we ran out of legends.
No, I was the special guest.
Here I am, your host.
I put that special guest on there because I'm the special guest. So
Yeah,
I'm not a
I was
legend.
like, and here I am, your host. But I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for coming in studio, guys. You could check out Greg at the Real Greg Baldwin.
Real Greg Baldwin.
Real Greg Baldwin, not the Real Greg Baldwin. And all my shows are listed at tarajokes.com. I'm coming to Naples, Florida, Ocala, finally Detroit, Royal Oak, Michigan. I'll be in D.C., Rhode Island, and I'm coming back to the Illinois area, very close to Chicago. I'll be there in October for Italian American Heritage Month. How on the nose is that? All right, guys, I love you and have a great day.
Cawfee Talk.